Hello, Western Michigan Broncos Dynasty. It's Guys here, and we are back. It is the off season, end of our season. Came at the hands of Clemson, the eventual national champions. So it's time for us to get into, well, the important stuff to get ready for next season. And some of that is going to be players leaving. These are players who we have used for now multiple seasons, some of these guys. And yeah, it's going to be, Bilal Cohn was a guy who was really good for us. Aaron Wofford was really good for us. Barnett got some chances. Damian Robinson was pretty good for us. Jelani Willis was good. Blake Bosma, Tyson Lee. Mortimer was really good for us. Isaiah Paul played well for us. And Omar Daniels was a guy too on this team. I think he had made a few plays. So this is our current recruiting class right now. We still have some players here that we still need to do a little bit of work on. Stephen Hagens, we are very close to locking up this recruitment here. Gonna schedule a visit, I guess. I'm not sure why I did that. I probably should have just did like family and friends or whatever. But we are going through the transfer portal. We added some other players here, but one of the players that we really added was Zachary Card. We're going to be without. We're losing some receivers. We have some freshman receivers incoming on this class, but those are freshmen. Some of those guys might get redshirted. So I like using the transfer portal almost as like a stopgap, and I think that's kind of what it can be, almost kind of like college free agency a little bit. But I think for programs like us, it's kind of a stopgap for, as we let some of our other guys develop, we can get some guys in right away who can play. That's what A.O. Manor was. He was a, kind of a stopgap measure for us this season. And Zachary Card could be that as well, as that kind of receiver number 2 for us in the slot. I mean, he has, 97 speed, 99 acceleration. Quan Ebron, this is a high school defensive tackle. I want to get better at defensive tackle. 86 block shedding. That gets me excited. Getting guys on this defensive line with high block shedding is a goal of mine. Just something I have to do. We have another outside linebacker. I almost choked on spit there. Died making a Western Michigan Broncos Dynasty video. That'd be a hell of a way to go out. But Tanner Amerson is a guy who looks all right as well. Going to try to bring him in, some extra 3-star recruits. Gerald Newell behind here a little bit, and it feels like some of these things are not lining up for us. At this point, we're kind of not fully guessing, but we are seeing out what their deal breakers are. I believe this guy's is playing style, so when we bring him in for a visit, we can just work on playing style. So again, you can kind of get an idea. You don't have to know everything. If they have a deal breaker, you just have to find, okay, well, this guy's deal breaker is this, so we will go in there and focus on that. So you can kind of cheat it a little bit, and you can kind of, guess. So Keon Trigger is a free safety. He's a transfer, but I believe one of his deal breakers is something that we can use right there and try to get him here. So here is a quarter. I don't even know what I sounded like Kamala Harris right there. I gave you an answer. I really didn't say anything, but Tacoby Cobb looks like an interesting quarterback prospect, 3-star gem. And so the first recruit to commit here in this offseason is going to be Stephen Hagens. Then we get Emmett Franks, a defensive tackle. So again, getting some more players on that D-line as we are trying to build it up, as that was a weak point of our team, is our defensive line. Probably our secondary a little bit too. We have a bunch of linebackers, but Quan Ebron looks really good. That 86 block shedding looks absolutely crazy. Trying to get Zachary Card here. We have had some big passing seasons here these past 2 years. This year we had a big running season, and but the big passing season, receivers are going to want to come here because that if you come here, you're going to put up some numbers. Here's Gerald Newell again, trying to get this. He's a transfer, trying to get another defensive tackle in here. These defensive tackles, I would potentially start them at end as well, so they wouldn't just play defensive tackle. We have spots for him. Here's Dupree Mendoza. Gonna try to jump Cal here. I probably peaked a little too early with this player in terms of when we scheduled our visit. I should have paid attention to where he's from and then saw that Cal was going after him. If that case, I probably should have, scheduled the visit later, as late as I could. Our proximity to home is an F for him. Cal, if you don't know this, is in California. So I'm going to assume Cal has an A+ on that. So when they try to sell him on anything, it's probably going to be including that proximity to home. We get Miguel Milano. He is a JUCO corner. Pat Shoemaker, another corner, 2-star. Zachary Card does commit, so we get another big-time receiving prospect, if you will. Another guy from the Pac, former Pac 12. They're kind of still alive here, but yeah. We do not get Newell. We do not get Entringer. We don't get that running back Grubb. They all commit to different schools. We're still in the running for some other guys here. Jacoby Cobb, I do want to get. We can't schedule a visit, or we can't schedule it later. We can't schedule a visit with him. But we're going to take some of these things off here, and we're going to try a hard sell on him. We do have some things that are going our way for him right now. So we can attempt this hard sell. I don't know how well this would go with the recent update they've done. Where they made things that aren't as good on your pitches not count as much for many points and things like that. I don't know. They do these changes in these games and then they let YouTubers explain them and then they never explain it themselves. That's very annoying about these sports games. But we jumped here to first place with Dupree Mendoza, but that might be all for naught because they still have a visit to schedule, or visit upcoming with him, so we'll have to wait and see if we can get him. Kalen Carroll, a cornerback, another transfer, junior transfer, still trying to get him as well. And yeah, so this is it. Let's see what we get here in the transfer. We get Tanner Amerson, the outside linebacker from Hudson, Wisconsin. We get Kalen Carroll from Indianapolis, and we are going to miss out on that defensive tackle, Dupree Mendoza. I really wanted him because he had like 90 plus block shedding, and I saw that and I was like, I need to get that guy. Would have been a great piece to have on the defensive line, but we have some other good players on the defensive line, but still going to be building it up. So that's the recruiting class here for 2025, and it's a damn good class, I have to say. A real mix of 4 stars. So got some 4 stars mixed in there. This is a big class, 27 incoming players. Next year's class probably shouldn't be that big. If I had to take a wild guess, it's just not going to be that big. We've had some pretty big recruiting classes here these past 2 years, so once you get to that 3rd year in this game, you can start really laser focusing and really dedicating more time to those 4 stars and even potentially 5 stars. I don't know if we're there yet to get 5 stars, but 21 3 stars, 2 2 stars, 4 4 stars, and then in the MAC, we had the best recruiting class in the MAC for the 2nd consecutive year. Again, no one in the MAC able to land a 4-star besides us. Toledo with more 3 stars. Toledo only got 3 stars, or they only went after 3-star prospects. And so here are some players who got better. Darren Umadu gets better, but remember, his caps are pretty much maxed out by the time he got here to us. So there's not going to be a lot of movement for him. Again, I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like if you have a great season, you should just automatically break some of these. That should definitely be something in the game where, hey, if your guy is like All-American, puts up big numbers, wins an award, these caps should be broken. Those should be cap breakers. I'm not sure why that's not in here. Here's JD Campanaro, had an amazing freshman season for us, was a starting linebacker, played great. And this is where his ratings went up, and you're going to see a 99 zone coverage. I'm not sure how that's going to work whenever I user him, but when I'm not usering him, I hope he plays well. I don't know how that's actually going to work. You see Rashad Mangold, he's up to an 84 overall. He was our starting center. He was kind of a big piece of our first recruiting class. And he's just been great for us. You can definitely tell him and George Gammon, both of those guys were big parts of that first recruiting class. And again, we went to work on the interior of the offensive line in that first recruiting class. And you can tell that it paid dividends when we were really just able to run the football at times when we wanted to. So those guys get even better. We're going to be able to do that even more in year 3 here and year 4 eventually, right? So some upgrades here with our coaches' points, defensive line, recruiter. Going to try to get that that increased starting interest and all that stuff for defensive linemen. And thought about going with cornerback right there. But we're looking over here at tactician as well. Want to maybe get some boosts here for the corners that are here right now. So I thought about maybe kind of splitting it up, spending those 40 points on 2 different kind of coachability trees here. And we're looking around here. Architect, I'd love to get that. You're going to see here in a little bit why we're not going to even be able to get a chance to unlock that this year unless so we do get the DB secondary tactician upgrades here. Unless Eastern or Central Michigan make it to the MAC championship, there's no way for us to unlock. Here is our defensive coordinator's abilities. There's no way for us to play another rivalry game, especially with the way the schedule thing just seems kind of broken right now. I don't know what's up with that. So another year of us not playing Eastern or Central Michigan, which is kind of annoying. And so that another year where we can't really make progress into getting that next coach ability. Here's our schedule. This is the schedule. I tried changing it. I tried, not getting something so crazy, but we start the season, Michigan, Tennessee. Then we play an FCS school. Then we play Arizona. Then we play Texas A&M in a home game. So that is the schedule. We play 7 conference games. I'm not sure why we're only playing 7, because I specifically went into the schedule thing and changed it to make sure that we played 8 conference games. I believe I did that last season, actually, but I don't know. Here's Hayden McGuire. Here's one of the incoming players. Number 16, that is not a running back number. Not at my program. We're not doing that. We're going to change them up a little bit here. 23, that's a good running back number. Now I think about it, I believe that's Christian McCaffrey's number. So we gave him that. I'm indifferent on whether or not I'm going to play him this year. I don't really know. And then here is Taylor Cormier and David Iwu. Both of these guys here. We got another freshman down there, but both of these guys look really good. You see the speed here we have. We're a lot speedier. Not speedier. There's a lot more speed in this receiving group this season. I'll go more over this team in the first episode of season 3 before we get into the actual gameplay of that. But here's the current recruiting class, or potential recruiting class we're trying to bring in here. And at this point, it is basically almost exclusively 4 stars, some 3 stars. It's a lot smaller, the targets what we have. We didn't fill it out with 35 plus targets or anything like that. It's 18, and it's an 18 at positions that we need to get. So this is kind of one of the advantages that eventually just everyone's going to have when you're playing this game, when you're doing a dynasty. Those first 2 years is about getting, I think, the biggest size. It's about getting value, but also getting the most, getting players you can get as many good players you can get. And then by the time you get to year 3, like we are now entering, you can just start focusing, I think, before it's about quantity, now it's about quality. And that's what we're doing this year. It's quality over quantity. We don't need a bajillion players. We have plenty of players. So this is about just getting quality. Another linebacker, of course. I like getting these just absolutely cracked linebackers. See, there's a lot of gem guys in here. I know there's ways to like kind of almost spam getting all gems. I don't feel like doing that. But again, we got some right tackles on here as well. Always looking to get tackles. always looking to get more interior offensive linemen. You know, again, I haven't dealt with injuries, but you never know. You know what I mean? You never know when you might have some injuries pop up. And then we have some quarterbacks in here as well. Some more safeties in here. Leo Hawkins is a gem 4-star quarterback out of Rhode Island that we're looking at here. And yeah, so looks really good. It's a guy that I want to try to get. And we're actually going to send the house on him. One of the rare guys, there's some of these in here we are sending the house. Just depends on how badly we want the guy. Alex Cummins looks really good. He's like one of the better players in his state. Here's another quarterback that we're looking at here, Jonathan Paul. Again, the reason why I'm looking at quarterbacks is because as much as I like Umadu, I have to be honest here. Umadu's not going to get that much better. It doesn't matter how well I play with him. There's just not a lot of room for Darren Umadu to get better because of those caps, and because we got screwed on the schedule thing where we're not playing Eastern or Central as often as we should. That means that I can't get that architect, which I believe has an ability in that tier to potentially help break caps or things like that. I believe architect has that. I could be wrong on that, but we can't get that right now. We don't have an ability to break guys' caps, and so they can keep getting better. So at this point, Darren Umadu, probably going to be an 80 overall for the rest of his college career. So that's why I'm kind of looking at other quarterbacks, you know, to kind of maybe get someone even better than Darren Umadu one day. As much as I love Darren Umadu, he played great for us. You always got to look forward to the future in college football. So, and we're not ranked coming into this season as well. So that's kind of annoying. Like, we should be ranked. We won a goddamn college football playoff game. What do you mean we're not ranked? We should be ranked coming into the season, but we're not. So when we come back, we're going to be taking on number 5 Michigan. And, yeah, maybe we can pull off the upset. Defeat the team that failed the state of Michigan in the championship game last season. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to hit like. Be sure to hit subscribe. I'll see you guys back here for Season 3. Peace.